And Coach Brett hit it right on the head, talking about how this is how tight ends can make the travel roster, get on the bus by
Let me pull a
becoming
Chico. Let me pull a Chico.
what's the Chico?
Who who asked that question? That's what Chico would do. Chico would insert himself in there and say, "Yeah, I thought I'd ask Coach Brett that, so y'all can hear his answer." That's what Chico would do.
Okay. Chico would say he was exactly right because for tight ends, especially backup ones, 3, 4, 5 deep, you want to make that squad. You need to be on special teams and you need to take
Yeah.
pride in it. Whether it's hands team, PAT, punt team, punt return, kickoff return, or kickoff team. Dog, y'all need to be on that. Just like Coach Brett said, he needs some paws, big, strong, long bodies out there. That's exactly what tight ends are. And I would argue and say that tight ends are top 2 best athletes on the football field. We'll argue later. But talk to me about special teams and tight ends.
You got to have it. I would say the same thing for the linebacker rooms. Not only athletic, but guys that have to be serviceable, out there on special teams as well, and that's their path to getting their main reps in their room as well. Because you got to build that trust. And special teams got to have athletes, got to have that ability. Look at these. I'm trying to be serious. Look what they're doing. Yes. Like I'm trying. Coach Kelly, I'm trying to do a serious interview. They'll hear. They'll play grab ass. I know I can't. I can't work in these conditions, Chico.
That's like Big
Are we,
Hakeem and
y'all like, yeah.
all that Joe.
Boy, y'all crazy, man. Hey, that's what happened on live in practice, though. Chico, you used to play a lot of grab ass at the practice.
See, I was about to say that. I remember those days, messing around with my teammates, but I'm sure y'all would have taken it somewhere
Oh, you
else.
gotta you gotta wrestle at the practice. Here's what I used to love at the practice when we get the wrestler. And then
Yeah,
the coach get mad and say, y'all ain't tired and make us do something.
exactly.
It should be like, dog, having fun and tired ain't the same thing. Like we playing. We trying now if y'all got
Old,
injured, do all that damn wrestling.
we could
Get
have
on the
done more.
legs.
That's that old school coach right there. We could have definitely done more.
But
But
back to the question, Chico, I think that this tight end room, we have no choice but to. They tell you that the thief of joy is comparison, but we really have no choice but to compare. Year one, year two, and now going into year three of Coach time in Colorado. You remember year one was a converted walk-on wide receiver that played tight end. Year two, you got some recruits in that made some impact. And I think year three, this is the year that you're really going to see that room blossom, be a part of the game plan. Because again, we keep saying, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. Anytime you're playing a sport, you got to get the ball in your best two players' hands 70% of the time. Shadur and Travis no longer here. What that did was that now opens up the opportunity for running backs out of the backfield, tight end formations, whether that's two tight end formations or not. You're going to see more diversity in the look and the scheme and more involvement because now you can move that ball around more. And that's going to be key for that tight end room.
yes, you think you have like 6 on the roster right now? Savell
Mm-hmm.
Smalls, Zane DeZoza, Zack Atkins,
Yep,
Brady Kopetz, Charlie Williams, and Corbin Lazier, all on the roster as tight ends right now.
absolutely.
And any of those names stand out to you, Dukes? Anybody from the past or coming into Colorado transfers, or somebody like Saville that's coming back this season? Who you think can have a huge impact in that tight end room?
I think the two guys are the two guys that we just talked to. Really, it's going to be probably Zack Atkins um, and Seville. So and it's hard to see exactly what's going on. I think Uncle Neely. Matter of fact, that's probably a better question for Uncle Neely since he's there every day. Like Uncle Neely, like you get to see it like every day. Like we get to see clips. You see the whole practice. Is there any tight end there outside of the two that we talked to that's made an impact so far, or somebody that's caught your eye?
Great question, Deuce. I think the entire room. I don't know if it was clear to the audience when I was asking the players and Coach Brett about the grading in his room. When you look at the daily grades from the tight end, their evaluations, when you let me start with like say the receivers or the offensive line or the linebackers. You have a couple of fours, some threes, some twos. You got scoring kind of all over the place where you see, okay, we got these four guys, and then there's this drop off. Well, in this tight end room their threes and fours every day amongst everybody. Like there's not a lot of separation. And so I think what you saw at the press conference, as it stands on this Thursday, having had 13 practices, that okay, yeah, those are the two front guys, but the other guys are right there too. And
Hmm.
I think that's what Coach Brett was saying about what they do on special teams, what they do with these remaining practices, because this whole process, Dukes, Chico, as y'all know, is building who I can trust in situations. And it's one thing that I can trust you in the film room, I can trust you out there on the field, but all of that has to aggregate for can I trust you on a Friday or Saturday night in front of 60,000 people on ESPN? And I
Mm.
think that's what they're looking for now, the consistency separator. But I would say that from top to bottom, the tight end room is probably the closest in scoring between who's in first place, who's in last place. Like
Mm,
not a lot of margin for error in that room.
nice. I like Big Zack Atkins. I like his receiving background. Like Coach Brett said, he was the number one tight end in the portal at the time. So I really like his receiving ability, and like Coach Brett said, he's going to add that other dynamic to the team where he can line up tight to the line, but still be able to attack the seam to get down the field and put some pressure on those safeties, make those linebackers cover over the middle of the field. Also, he's from in the middle of America in Kansas, so a lot of coaches like those big body tight ends that's cornbread fed out of Kansas and places like that. I think he has good size, 6'4", 240, can really run. So if we have a guy like that that can stretch the field, like you talked about Mikey being a walk-on former wide receiver that was converted to tight end, but he had some impact also on that squad. Shador was able to find him a few times over the middle of the field for touchdowns. I think that's what Zack Atkins can provide, but also with some blocking on the edge and stay on the field for rundowns. So that's going to give Colorado a couple of different dynamics with the tight end in the ball game.
Yeah, and I agree, Chico. And as I said yesterday, when we were trying to kind of diving into the wide receiver room, there's a ripple effect to all this. You're not gonna have two tight ends on the field, two running backs on the field, and four wide receivers at the same time. Like,
Right.
you only get 11 people out there. You can operate out of, out of 12 personnel, 21 personnel. You got different groupings, but the number 11 is fixed. And the more we dive into these two back situations or two tight end situations, there's one less receiver out there than you may be accustomed to during the Travis and Shador era. And so the byproduct is this now extra competition in the receiver room because now you don't have four people out there, you got three.
Right.
And so the ripple effect that has been interesting to watch in camp. But I like where this team is. I like the diversity, the personnel and the schemes in the offense and who may be getting the ball in any given situation.
Chico, let me ask you a question. As a tight end, we did hear about that there are 6 tight ends there, and then we hear about the conversion process of guys coming from other positions to become a tight end. What was the most difficult part of you being a college tight end? Is it learning the blocking? Is it learning the technique as far as where your hand placement is? Is it actually being able to run routes? What was the toughest part of the nuances of the tight end position?
It would have to go straight to blocking because in high school, yeah, you told to block, but you're not really taught the techniques really to block. Shout out to my high school tight ends coach, who's a good one. But I think overall, a lot of tight ends won't get taught that technique to keeping your hands inside, like Savelle said, and that timely shooting of the hands, not just reaching out there, overextending. So, learning to block. I remember my first time lining up on goal line at tight end, I had to block who eventually got drafted in the first round by the Jets. That was Brian Thomas. And I lined up and I blocked him the first time, and I kind of, as a freshman, celebrated it. And then the next time up, he swiped me down. I was on the ground. And he was like, "Welcome to college football, little freshman." You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
the point is, you have to learn that. You have to get stronger also. So it comes from, a high school freshman coming in. You got to get in that weight room and you have to learn the technique of actually blocking. So I think that would be the toughest part was that block inline blocking also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's drills for that to correct that muscle memory. You heard Savelle Smalls talk about going from D end to tight end and what you do different with your arms. So you see a lot of guys, Chico, you remember the drill. You get two towels, roll them up, put one under each arm, and don't let the towels fall. Because if you reach for something, the towels are gonna fall. But if you take your feet to the opponent, your chest to the opponent, and tackle them like this, then your towels stay under your arms. And so you'll see guys working those kind of muscle memory drills to keep them. Because if you reach, you beat. Like you got to go to the person, and shortening those arms in situations with something as simple as a towel under your arm helps guys convert that muscle memory.
Most definitely. And yep, I will be giving more tight end analysis all season long as the tight end's position is featured more, as Dr. Christie said in the chat right here. I see some of y'all other comments too. We'll get to them later on. All y'all comedians in the chat.
Hey Chico, you said something at the end of your last answer. You were saying you kind of separated inline blocking from regular blocking. What's the difference?
Well, if I'm in line, I'm there with the big fellas, and I'm blocking some of the big guys on the end, as opposed to being split out. And now you might be matched up with a linebacker or a safety that you can really get your hands on and feel like you can dominate, blocking wise on the field, and that's what I used to love. I used to take pride in, and I think all tight ends would take pride in. Once they're split out, then okay, now it's time to be a big body guy and kind of post up the smaller DBs, in the passing game and in the run game, taking pride in not being the guy that tackles the running back when we do call a run play. That used to be my thing. My guy's not gonna make the block. Whether I got to get in front of him or drive, block, pant, whatever, my guy's not gonna make the tackle, and that's what you got to take pride in. Being a tight end, period, because you got to do both things: block, run, and catch. At the same time. Man, y'all chat going crazy. I will say this: Savell Smalls being a 5-star former DN coming out of Washington and making that transition to tight end, I think that's been pretty impressive. But if anybody could do it as a former tight defensive end to move to that tight end position also. So shout out to Savell Smalls and keeping that
I want
number
to
one
say
spot.
this. I want to say this in regard to that. You got the coaching staff that has the experience here, personally and professionally, to get you through that. You look at George Hageman, offensive line coach, drafted 3rd round offensive lineman. He played on the defensive side of the ball, and coming out of high school was like the number 4 defensive player in the nation. Gets to college, and they're like, dog, you need to be on the O-line. You will go pro at the O-line. Of course, he resisted it, bought into it. Look what happened 2 years later, drafted 3rd round. I remember Jackson State, James Houston, who transferred from Florida, was a linebacker, and Coach Brown like, dog, if you play in, you're going to the league. Play in
He's
for
a
us.
middle linebacker, yep.
Yeah. And so, bam, look what happened. And so this staff knows how to look at you and see how you fit here or there or where and plug you in. You trust the process and buy in, you're going to the next level.
That is so crazy you said that, because you said Coach Hageman listened and went to the offensive side of the ball. If I would have listened, I would have been on the defensive side of the ball, because experienced coaches was telling me, hey man, linebacker is your ticket. Linebacker is your ticket. For some reason, I wanted to defy that and say I think I could do it at tight end if I just get the ball. And I got sold a dream that they're gonna throw me the ball at tight end, and never went back to linebacker. And like you said, I'm on here hosting the morning run with you, Uncle Neely.
And I just hope I can't see the chat. I just hope that them 3 red circles are just lighting up right now. I hope it's just.
I'm the resident tight end. Now we got to talk about it. We got.
You get your day. You get your day. This tight end day. It's not National Tight End Day, but it's tight end day for the press conferences. So,
shout out to all my TEs out there. Here come those red rings. Let me ask y'all this real quick, has nothing. Is real
you
quick
got to
on the
go
morning
somewhere.
run.
Yeah, say what you got to do.
I want to ask this question related to tight end. Who are your top 3 tight ends of all time? High school,
Winslow,
college, NFL, whatever.
Gates, Kelce.
Kellen Winslow, Antonio Gates, and Travis Kelce?
Yep.
Okay.
And honorable mention, Christopher Jason Witten, Dallas Cowboy.
Okay, nice. Christopher Jason.
Y'all call him Jason, y'all call
you really know him.
No, you know him? Yeah, I know him. You call his real name Chris, man. You call him Chris.
The question is, do he know you?
Well, you know him? I ain't said nothing about that man. I ain't said nothing about that man knowing me.
Go ahead, Duke.
If mama called him Chris, I'm going to call him Chris.
That's right. He ain't lying.
Man, I'm going to have to go with Winslow Sr. just for revolutionizing the game. But I'm going to go Tony G. And I know we don't see him in this light sometimes just because of what he's doing now. And Shannon Sharp was a handful.
Oh no, he was that man.
Damn right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
he
with
was that man.
Shannon
That was the guy
Sharp
who gave me.
and Winslow.
Okay. Wait, you say your second one was who? Shannon Sharp, Winslow, and who?
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. Okay, nice. Since y'all took Kellen Winslow and bring it back to me again, that's who my coach. That's who I found out who he was. My coach. I had an old school coach. He used to always yell out,
Chico, it's
Winslow,
it's okay to
Winslow.
agree.
No, I want to give
Like
you
I
somebody
picked
else.
Winslow. Dudes pick because it's merited. You don't have to sit there and pull some name out your ass
I'm
because you
not
don't want to be like us.
Let me finish, dog.
So damn incorrigible.
In high school, my coach used
I'm
to
not gonna
always
eat
yell out.
broccoli because y'all eat broccoli.
He used to
I'm not
yell
gonna
out
wash my face
Winslow.
because y'all wash y'all face.
I didn't know why he used to yell out Winslow. I had no idea who Kellen Winslow was. I thought he was trying to say my name, Chico, but he kept saying Winslow. So finally, like, man, who the hell is Winslow? And he gave me
I know he was
a
saying.
lesson. And he said, man, he's the greatest tight end. He revolutionized it. But he also mentioned another name, which I'm going to call. And that's Ozzie Newsome. I'm going to go with Big Ozzie first. Then I'm going to go with my favorite, Shannon Sharp, that made me want to play tight end.
But Dukes
And
picked
then
Shannon Sharp.
he did. But you didn't. So that's 2 picks for Shannon.
And I also know why they called your ass Winslow. Because your wins was low, Urkel. You think he's trying to call you Kellen Winslow. He like wins low. We got a low chance of winning with Chico on the field.
You know what
The
they
wins
called
is
you?
low.
You know what they called you?
Water.
Water, please.
You know that has a role. Bobby Boucher, baby.
And that's where you
Just
come
like
running.
just like my man said back here, Brett Bartolone. I bet my ass was on the bus.
Yeah, we need that cold water. You kept the water cold.
And what we didn't need is the 5th tight end, but we needed that water. So while you talk about, hey, water boy, I'm like, I see you Sunday when we get back.
Good thing I was one there, goddamn.
And the score right now is 2, Chico 2. Very even right now. Hey, y'all even on the scorecards. Everybody.
Yeah,
did I say my third tight end?
That's the day's scorecard. But if you look at the totality of it, I can lose for the next 6 weeks if he ain't tired.
All right, my third tight end from Newsome, Shannon Sharp.
You said 3.
Who's my third one?
You said Winslow.
No, I didn't.
You tried to get out of it.
I took Winslow back. I said Ozzie Newsome, Shannon Sharp, and I'm gonna go. Oh, I could do something crazy, but I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna go. Give me Gronk.
Why stop now?
Give me Gronk, man. I'm gonna take
stop
Big Gronk.
now?
Why stop now?
Yeah. This dude got right here to Thursday and said, I would do something crazy. You done something crazy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but you're going to get the tight end there now. Whoa, I don't want to do nothing crazy.
There you go. A master stick work. Know what I was going to say? Appreciate the chat. The chat knew what I was going to say. Aaron Hernandez, dog. Aaron was a beast.
You can't say him
because it wasn't long. It wasn't it wasn't long enough. Pause. He didn't play long enough, but he was a beast. Him and Gronk on the same team. Oh my gosh, that was unfair. That was unfair.
4th round pick too.
Yeah. Honorable mention: Dallas Clark from the Indianapolis Colts.
I like that. He bounced around some. I like Dallas Clark. There's a lot of good ones out there, man. Serviceable.
Yeah, it was.
Stay in the league a long time.
Speaking of a Cowboy, Jay Novacek was my guy too. The big tight with the big shoulder pads. Jay Novacek. Mark Bavaro. Okay. It's a classic one. That's what it is, man. Hey.